Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Hello, the rest of the world. This is your boy, Dr. 96, aka The Realist. As I always emphasize and reiterate, the best thing you can do to yourself, the best gift you can give to yourself is to be real to yourself at all times. And be real, there's fullness of joy and happiness. Once again, it is my mega pleasure and wonderful opportunity to be on here once again to discuss another trending issue in Nigeria, which calls for our collective reflection and opinion sampling. Today, I want to discuss on the trial of Showore and his counterparts' mandate for treason and felony. In fact, this is a public disgrace and ignominy, public shame and assault to Nigerian government. The government led by retired General Muhammadu Buhari. I don't know why Buhari, in his capital incompetency, continue to disgrace himself and his entire administration publicly. What they don't know is that the world is watching and the world is taking note of all the atrocity committed, perpetrated, and still committing by this present administration in Nigeria. The trial of Showore is nothing but a kangaroo, frivolous, and barbaric attempt to suppress and to subjugate the common voice of the masses, because what Showore truly represents is public opinion. The problem in Nigeria is not new to the entire world. There's a problem of perverse hunger, unemployment, and massive exodus of Nigerian potentials out of Nigeria in search of greener pasture elsewhere in the world. The unprecedented level of insecurity in Nigeria calls for immediate attention, but the government of Muhammadu Buhari has chosen to ignore the major problems facing Nigeria at this critical time. Rather, the government is focused on an attempt to punish and suppress public opinion and yearning and aspiration of Nigerians for better governance. What the government is trying to do is to systematically and stylishly subjugate the demands of the masses. The government of Muhammadu Buhari came to power with a lot of promises that they are going to take Nigerians to next level. But today, what an average Nigerian are currently experiencing is massive unemployment, abject poverty and penury, highest level of insecurity that has surpassed the level of insecurity recorded by any administration since the establishment of Nigeria as a country. To me, I could clearly and vividly see from different dimensions what the federal government of Nigeria is trying to do. First and foremost, the federal government of Nigeria is trying to divert public interest from urgent issues that needed to be addressed in Nigeria, such as high level of insecurity, unemployment, perverse hunger, disease, dilapidating infrastructural facilities, the decadence in educational standard, to mention but a few. But instead of the government to do this, they are trying to revamp Showore's case in order to divert Nigerians' attention at this critical time. Secondly, I see this trial as just mere waste of resources, time, and energy. And thirdly, I see the trial as nothing but an attempt to oppress, to suppress, to subjugate, and to destroy and kill public demand. And thirdly, it is an outright attempt by the northerners to subjugate further agitation by the entire southern part of the country from further demanding for a better governance. I would like to elaborate on this. Let me start from the waste of resources. This case is nothing but a waste of time, energy, and resources, in the sense that let us even look from the fact that the prosecuting team representing the federal government, when they appear on court, they don't even know the essence, the reason, the case on which Showore and mandate should be tried on. That shows and reveals the highest level of incompetency and lack of professionality by the prosecuting team employed by the federal government. Because as a lawyer, you should know the essence and your reasons for being in court, most especially a case that has a long fixed date. What are they doing before the established date? It is nothing but an attempt to try an innocent man and subsequently convict him for a case that lacks merit. And we should pay attention as Nigerians to this. I believe we should not allow this, for the sake of posterity and for the emancipation of the entire southern part of the country from long subjugation and oppression by the northern part of the country. Secondly, I see this as an avenue to suppress public demand and yearning for better governance, and for suppressing people's demands for accountability and credibility from the government led by retired General Buhari. Thirdly, I see this as nothing but an attempt by the northern part of the country to subjugate the southern part of the country forever. It's a way of showing superiority and attempt to weaken the entire southern part of the country from agitating for a better governance. Because the northerners, they have completely failed us. The government of Muhammadu Buhari has disappointed Nigeria. In order to cover up for their inefficiency, they want to introduce what I know as veto to eliminate strong opposition. And we are not going to take this. This is a modern world. The world is moving at a velocity of light, which is 3 times 10 raised to the power of 8 meters per second. The world is moving very fast at a rate and speed which Buhari himself could ever imagine. So this ideology, this tactic, this strategy will never succeed in this modern Nigeria. Nigerians are conscious and they are aware of what is going on in their environment and society more than ever before. So that will make it highly impossible for Buhari and his cabals to achieve their demonic objectives. Furthermore, we all saw or watched what happened at the court when Showore was awarded a sum of 200,000 naira just for the fact that the federal prosecuting team could not establish the case of arraigning Showore. Where does this money come from? It doesn't come from Buhari's pocket. This is taxpayers' money. The judges who were in courts, the lawyers who were in courts on that very day, the prosecuting team from the federal government, they are not doing it on charity. There is reward for their presence, even for their mediocrity appearance in court. They will not go empty-handed. There is fund to be paid by the federal government. And where does this money comes from? It comes from the taxpayers' sweat. There are lots of things which such money could be used for in Nigeria. That money could be used for educational development, for infrastructural development, for better healthcare delivery system, for good road network. But Buhari has chosen to abandon the main issues which might collectively benefit Nigerians from all walks of life. Rather, he intends to use taxpayers' money to prosecute and execute a true voice of the masses. And we are not going to allow this to take place. Buhari should remember that the world is watching. All eyes are on him. Buhari should change his mindset. Nigeria does not belong to the northerners alone. Nigeria is a collective property of the entire entities geographically and physically represented in Nigeria. Nigeria is for us all. No Nigerian should be more Nigerian than others. But in a situation where some sector or segments of the country feels that they are more superior and they are more Nigerian than others, what they are simply inviting is trouble and predicaments. So we are not going to watch and allow Buhari to carry out his selfish ambition against Showore. We are all going to resist this millennial oppression by the government of Muhammadu Buhari. I want to use this opportunity for the entire southern part of the country to see this as nothing but an attempt to continuously subjugate them by the northerners. So that is the main reason why we should all stand up on our feet to resist this obnoxious move by Buhari's administration to victimize and to convict an innocent person. What Showore represented symbolically is the collective yearning and aspiration of Nigerians from all walks of life. Apart from few Nigerians who are benefiting from the incompetency and atrocity of the present administration. What Showore is expressing is true mindset of an average Nigerian and yearning for better governance. It is the collective right of all Nigerians to live in a decent country where security is guaranteed, where employment is guaranteed, and where health is secured. That is what Showore is soliciting and agitating for. He called for a social revolution. A social revolution does not imply taking of arms against the government. Rather, what Showore is calling for, what social revolution connotes, is people's consciousness to demand for what is rightfully belong to them from the government. It's an avenue to tell the government of the day that the status quo needs to be changed. We can't continue to do things the same way and expect a different result. It is the highest level of insanity to continue with the same model, with the same standard, with the same structure, and expect a different outcome. The present structure of governance put in place by retired General Buhari has failed Nigeria completely. It has failed to deliver its electoral promises. During the campaign, the government of APC, led by retired General Buhari, promised Nigerians that they are going to take them to next level. But what Nigerians are currently experiencing is next level of poverty, next level of massive killing, next level of oppression, next level of hunger. And this is not what we bargained for as Nigerians. We bargained for next level of sustainability and good condition for humanity to dwell. Since Buhari has failed to do this, and a young man is raising his voice to lead by an example, to inform Nigerians that it is high time and it is their right, their uncompromised rights to demand for good governance. And Buhari is making an attempt to silence this young man. If Buhari has given birth on time, I think someone like Showore is as young as his grandchild. In the midst of abundance of problem that calls for urgent attention and demands, the government of Buhari is dwelling and throwing all its weight behind a frivolous charges against an innocent man. They are not going to succeed, and they are not going to silence us. And I'm using this opportunity to call on the attention of the Northern Elder Council to checkmate and to warn Buhari seriously that his action will only lead to rebellion if it is not checkmate, and its action, if not curtailed, will definitely lead Nigeria to secession. The worst an outcome of Buhari can generate in Nigeria at the moment is secession. And there is nothing wrong for us to live a separate way. Currently, the Biafrans, they have been agitating for a very long time that they are tired of the status quo. They want to have their own autonomous government. They want to control their own affairs. And they have every reason to do this. There shouldn't be any force in union. If we don't share the same ideology, if we don't share the same value, if we don't have the same orientation, and if our goals and focus are different, the union is of no importance and value. So I'm using this opportunity again to call on who and who among the Southerners. It is high time now. We Southerners, the entire South, the Igbos, the Hausa, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Jaws, the Edos, and all the ethnic tribe represented in the entire southern part of Nigeria to awake and to stand up to resist this subjugation. We should all throw our weight behind Showore to fight this oppression. That is one of the reasons I appreciate our noble laureate in person of Professor Wole Soyinka, who was at the court during the trial. I'm also using this opportunity to appreciate Shehu Sani, a former Kaduna senator who felt that the injustice and disorderliness in the country is enough for throwing his weight behind Showore. Also, I would also like to use this opportunity to appreciate our son with a sound mind in person of Femi Falana, who is the leading prosecuting counsel for Showore. I appreciate you all, and others too numerous to mention in this video. I appreciate what you are doing. May God continue to strengthen you all, and may God deliver all us from this millennial oppression, from this outright subjugation. May the Lord deliver us, and may the Lord deliver Nigeria from the jaw of evil representatives. But I want to use this opportunity again to sound a good warning to all who and who in the southern part of the country not to leave this battle for these few individuals who I have mentioned earlier to fight alone. The struggle, the emancipation, the liberation, the freedom of the southerners from the oppressive northerners calls for the influencers in the southern part of the country to all put their resources and effort together to fight this Armageddon. Because this is a war. The northerners have done it in the past, and they went away with that. We have not forgotten how the late military junta Sani Abacha systematically and stylishly eliminated late Sarawiwa and his 8 Ogoni members. They arraigned them before a kangaroo court, and a mediocre judgment was passed that led to the execution of these innocent fighters. They killed Sarawiwa and his associates just for the fact that he was fighting for the liberation and for the freedom and for his Ogoni people to enjoy their God-given natural resources. Abacha saw him as a potential threat, and they stylishly eliminated him. To me, that goes a long way to silence further agitation from the south parts of Nigeria. Hitherto, but with a clear nature of the injustice and bias currently going on in the administration of Muhammadu Buhari, the southwest part of the country, the Yorubas, they are now seeing it clearly that the Hausas, the northerners, they don't have good intention for the southerners, and they have started raising their voice now. And Buhari believed in his own myopic and short-sighted mind that the best way he could suppress further agitation from the south is to suppress Showore. Their attempt is to try Showore and find him guilty, which might lead to execution, because treason and felony is an offense when being found guilty that has a potential to attract capital punishment. We are not going to allow this. We are not going to allow this to take place. So I'm calling on who and who in the southern part of the country. It is high time we forget the past division. It is high time we forget the past betrayal. It is high time we forget the past discrimination. The southern part of the country, it is not being egocentric or a bigotry statement. We are more educated, we are more intelligent, we are more resourceful than the northerners. So So we should not allow them to continue to threaten us with military minds and armories. We can use our intellectual prowess to stand on our feet and fight for our collective liberation in the southern part of the country. So I'm using this avenue to appeal to every aggrieved mind in the southern part of the country that we should all forget the past and let us come together as a united force to liberate ourselves once and for all by standing behind Showore. Today, the government of Buhari, in its hypocritical nature, sees every reason to give a herdsmen and Boko Haram who have killed, destroyed life and properties in thousands. The government of Buhari see reason to give them freedom based on the fact that they have repented and they deserve a second chance to live. Why is the same government using double standard to treat the Southerners, to treat not just a Southerners, innocent Southerners who have committed no crime? Why is the government bent on eliminating them? We should not allow this to take place. Today, as I speak, Nnamdi Kanu parents, preparation are going on for them to be committed to Mother Earth. That is, their burial is coming this weekend. But Nnamdi Kanu is on exile just for doing nothing. If a killer, a murderer, is given a second chance and is working as a free citizen on the soil of Nigeria, is there any justification for a young man who is calling for the emancipation and liberation of his Igbo people, who is calling for the freedom of Biafra nation? Does he deserve to be on exile? Was he not supposed to give his parents the last respect by being present in for their burial? But today, as we speak, he's on exile because of domination and marginalization, because of threat from the northern part of the country. For how long are we going to remain in Egypt? For how long are the Southerners going to be colonized by the Northerners? Nigeria belongs to all of us. If we cannot live together in peace, then we should go on our ways peacefully. We should go on our ways peacefully. And this is an avenue for every divided unit to use its resources and potential to develop unconditionally. We are not going to accept this, and I'm using this avenue once more to call on all the Southerners, to call on who and who in the Southerners, to call on the big influencer, to call on the big voices in the southern part of the country to rally around Showore so that an innocent man will not be convicted of an act he has never committed. So we should throw our weight behind Showore. For those who have chosen to compromise among the Yorubas, I want you all to remember that you are not going to be on earth forever. And the evil seed you sow today, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, they are going to reap it in full. The betrayers. They said evil prevail. Evil people succeed in society not just because they are smart or they are specially skillful, but just for the fact that the innocent, the good ones, the good-minded people refuse to do nothing. So when the good-minded people are awakened to their consciousness, and when they are awakened to their humanity responsibility, then evil will stop in our society. This is my contribution, and this is my advice. The entire southern part of Nigeria should stand on their feet. They should stand in solidarity and in support to deliver Showore from Buhari's trap. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumb up, and please share for the spread and for the awareness, so that the purpose of creating this video will be fully established and every Nigerian will enjoy freedom of speech and association as it is being embedded in our constitution. Nobody is bigger than Nigerian constitution. Buhari and his entire northern crew, they are not bigger than Nigerian constitution. So the constitution of Nigeria should be respected and should be obeyed. Thank you very much. Once again, this is your boy, Dr. 96, aka The Realist. Be real to yourself, because in being real, that is where there is true fulfillment and joy. That is where there is true happiness and liberation and freedom. Don't copy it. Don't fake your life after anyone, because you are too unique to be a second best. Always appreciate yourself, love yourself, and may God bless you all. Thank you. Till I see you another time. Peace and joy. Bye.